The Smidgens Behind the Stars. Long ago, before the first axe bit into the great trunks of the Sylvestrian woods, before the songs of men rose louder than the wind through cedar and oak, the Smidgens lived unseen among root and fern. They were small folk, no taller than a squirrel's tail, with quick fingers, clever eyes, and hearts bright as fireflies. Their homes were burrowed beneath the curling roots of trees that had names older than speech. Now in those ancient days, the Smidgens did not die as mortals do. When one grew old or weary, their light began to fade, and they would vanish like mist before dawn. None knew where they went, and none asked, for the Smidgens feared to speak of endings. But one among them, a young tinker named Brindle, could not bear the not knowing. Brindle had a heart full of wonder and a workshop full of scraps. He mended broken tools, carved flutes from cane, and fashioned lanterns from shells that glowed soft as moonlight. Yet, for all his cleverness, Brindle's mind wandered most when he looked up at the night sky. He loved how the stars winked and trembled, how they shimmered like the eyes of unseen friends. "It seems to me," he often said to the others, "that the stars are trying to tell us something." But the elders would only shake their heads. "Hush, Brindle. The stars are not for the likes of us. They are for owls and the moon and things greater than Smidgens." Still, Brindle wondered, and when his grandmother, dear old Mosscap, began to fade, he grew desperate for answers. Her glow, once warm and golden, dimmed to a thin silver shimmer. One night she took his hand and whispered, "Fear not, my little one. When the last warmth leaves me, I shall not be gone." "But where will you go?" Brindle cried. She smiled, eyes half in a dream. "Follow the light, and you'll see." Then, before dawn, her hand grew cool, and she was gone. Grief gnawed at Brindle, but curiosity burned hotter still. He gathered his tools, a gourd of dew-water, and his favorite cane flute, then set out to follow whatever light his grandmother had spoken of. He wandered through thickets and glades until he came upon the hollow hill barrow, the tallest mound in the heart of Sylvestria. It was said to be the meeting place of earth and sky. On clear nights, its crest shimmered faintly, though none dared climb it. That night, the moon hung low and full. Brindle saw a silver mist rising from the grass, a trail of light winding upward like smoke. It pulsed softly, as if beckoning. Heart pounding, he followed. The trail led him to the top, where the stars seemed close enough to touch. There, among the stones, he found a pool, small, round, and still as glass. Yet when he peered into it, he saw not his reflection, but 1,000 tiny lights swirling deep below. He leaned closer, and a voice, gentle and clear, rose from the pool. "Why do you seek the light, little one?" Brindle trembled, for it was the voice of old Mosscap. "Grandmother, I came to find where you've gone. I cannot bear that you've vanished." The pool rippled, and a figure of light rose from it, faint but smiling. "I have not vanished, Brindle. I am only changed. All Smidgens carry a spark within them, a bit of the first fire that woke the world. When our bodies grow tired, that spark returns to the sky." Brindle's eyes widened. "Then the stars, they're Smidgens?" "They are the greatest of us," said Mosscap. "Those whose hearts burned brightest, craftsmen, singers, healers, wanderers. Each shines so that those who remain below need never fear the dark." Brindle's heart swelled with awe. "Then I must tell the others. They'll never be afraid again." "You may," said Mosscap, "but know this. No tale lasts forever unless it is sung. Promise me you will make a song of what you've seen." "I promise," Brindle whispered. The spirit smiled once more. "Then look to the sky, and you shall know me there." With that, she faded into a single point of light, and Brindle watched as it drifted upward, slowly, softly, until it joined the stars. When Brindle returned to his village, he found the Smidgens gathered in mourning. They feared he too had vanished like Mosscap. But when he told them what he'd seen, how their ancestors shone above as stars, their grief turned to wonder. True to his promise, Brindle took out his reed flute and carved new holes in it, 7 in all, one for each of the new bright stars he saw above the hollow hill barrow. He played through the night, a melody so pure and trembling that even the trees seemed to lean closer to listen. The tune told of light returning home, of love that never ends, and of the promise that no Smidgen spark is ever lost. It is said that the stars brightened as he played, each note calling forth another spark from the sleeping earth. Since that time, the Smidgens have never feared death. When one grows old, they light a candle and set it in a lantern along the water's edge at dusk. As the lantern drifts away, it fades, and a new star appears in the heavens. And every 7th night of summer, when the air hums warm and the fireflies dance, the Smidgens gather at the Holly Hill Barrow to play Brindle's song. The tune still carries through the leaves if one listens close on quiet nights, soft and high, like the whisper of wind among branches. They say it reminds the stars of home, and the Smidgens below that they, too, are made of light. So, if you ever find yourself in Sylvestria, walking beneath its deep green canopy, and you see a sudden star brighten above the treetops, pause a moment. Somewhere, a Smidgen has gone to join the sky, and somewhere else, another has lifted a flute to play the song that will guide them there.